Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Seahawk Squawk. I'm Drew Stahl, along with Jack Lotz, Oliver Connell, Aiden Thomas, Nick Harris, and Rocky Green. And today we're going to be discussing the 2023 NFL Draft that will be taking place this weekend. Guys, the number one overall pick will be Jack.
It's got to be Bryce Young. I think the only question mark is his size, and I think you look at someone like Kyler Murray. I know he hasn't done great lately, but he's still a great quarterback. And Bryce Young can be like a Kyler, then I think the Panthers would be happy. But
Kyler Murray is so mid, bro. Will Levis is going number one.
Will Levis? Heck no. Bryce Young is definitely going one.
No, the Carolina coach likes like big athletic quarterbacks, right?
I mean,
isn't that?
No, actually, I'm reading this thing right now. It said he scored 98th percentile on the cognition test for quarterbacks, which is actually very, very good for quarterbacks. Bryce Young.
Who cares?
And
he's tiny. He's like 5'9".
Carolina likes him, so.
I think Will Levis.
Do you know that?
Will Levis is supposed to be like, he's like Josh Allen. He's a big athletic guy, but he's not Josh Allen.
No,
his name is
Josh Allen. Also,
there's only one Josh Allen.
There's actually two Josh Allens.
Yeah, there's one of the Jaguars.
Is he on the Bulls?
Okay, guys, Nick, do you think,
buddy?
you think, you guys think Bryce Young or Will Levis to the Panthers at number one?
Or someone different.
Or other.
Well, it's definitely not Will Levis because I don't even think
Will Levis.
who's even considering that number one.
What?
But I would say either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud probably. Personally, I would take Bryce Young, but both you can't really go wrong.
CJ Stroud's about the biggest bust of all.
So we've been talking, right? And CJ Stroud on that test you were talking about, he got 18. His score was 18.
It was like a 40.
That's really low.
Yeah.
So
18 to
Out of
92.
It's like 100.
It's crazy.
So what team do you think could be selecting CJ Stroud, Oliver, with that?
Such a number.
I mean, the Texans maybe if Carolina doesn't take him first overall, but the Texans might jump to Anthony Richardson, to be honest. Or
Anthony Richardson
I
over
think we'll
Stroud?
take Will
or
Anderson.
Levis.
The Texans
Nick?
could even trade back or take a defensive player
Anderson.
too.
Who's the
Anderson,
Who's the
though.
Florida quarterback?
Anthony Richardson.
Okay, yeah. I think CJ Stroud is going to be the last quarterback too. Honestly, just because of the cognitive.
Out of the but before Hendon Hooker?
before
out of-
Hendon
yeah,
Hooker,
out of the main four.
Out of like the main four.
Yeah.
I think Hooker's going to be taken in like the second or third round. He's not going in the first.
I like Stroud, but I think he's more athletic than Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's just.
You think Stroud is more athletic than Bryce Young?
He's not.
Bryce Young is more athletic.
Well, Bryce. I mean, he's like
CJ Stroud is like a pocket passer.
Yeah.
Like, people just think because
I mean,
people think he's fast, but he's
CJ
not.
Stroud
Like,
impressed me in the Georgia game for sure.
He
So
did.
Yeah.
He did a lot.
that definitely
the cognitive
made his
test
stock
score is
go
kind
up.
of wild.
It did make his stock go up.
It went down for a little. Did he have like one like awful game?
He had a couple.
Like, right
bad-
before
yeah, he
that.
had a couple.
Yeah,
bad
and I mean,
games.
he played well in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
But he also was throwing to like the best receiver,
That is
probably
true.
the best receiver that I've
I
ever seen
think,
in my life.
like,
Marvin
for-
Harrison is so good.
Yeah.
For all of these quarterbacks, that really just depends of where they get drafted and the situations they're in. If whoever gets drafted to Seattle, I think is in the best position because you have the opportunity to sit behind Geno Smith and learn.
Also,
and you also throw in DK Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you look at Carolina or Houston, like all those places are tough places to play, especially for a rookie quarterback. Like if you look at Carolina and Houston in the
Carolina,
past,
honestly,
like,
it's not the worst position.
it's not the worst, but if you really look at Carolina, I mean, who do they really have on that offense that excites you?
I mean, they traded up with the Bears. I mean, the Bears got a haul. They got
The Bears
DJ
did get a
Moore. They
haul.
got a bunch of picks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd rather be on the Panthers than the Texans, though.
Yeah.
Even though they
I would,
have
too.
the second pick.
the Panthers kind of
Why would they not
Risk
pick
a lot
Will
for
Anderson of the Texans?
Will Anderson.
Yeah.
because they don't have a
Because they don't have a
quarterback.
quarterback.
I think the Texans should go
They need
defense
And just
Really?
wait next year.
and just
Wait
wait.
wait
another
next
year
year
of taking
for
a
it,
quarterback.
Or I think Anthony Richardson is really
Yeah.
good.
Still
Yeah,
one of
I
the best
think
defenders.
honestly,
in
I
the league.
think Young
I
or
think
Richardson,
it-
if they could get one of those,
I think it's just where Anthony Richardson goes. I mean, if the Texans take him, I mean, I just can't see him being very good, to be honest.
he's like the most athletic. He's like the best.
No.
I
quarterback
mean, Anthony
prospect of
Richardson. I
all
mean,
time.
like his ceiling is through the roof.
It's so high.
But his ceiling is.
It's also as
Like,
floor
I'm
is.
thinking like Texans.
His floor is.
Like what team besides the Texans and Panthers is getting a quarterback in like the top 10?
I think Seattle could go for one.
Atlanta
I think
could.
Atlanta could go for one.
Indianapolis.
You know,
Indianapolis
Heineke and
could.
Ritter's
And-
gonna go crazy this year.
So that's a lot.
So there are some teams there. And
There's gonna be a good amount.
there's
of
also some sleeper teams. I mean, could the Vikings trade up?
The
Could
Titans.
the Titans?
I mean, even the Commanders. Like,
you never
If
know.
the Commanders.
I mean, I don't think they will.
I don't think they will.
And John Keem said he probably
The
wouldn't.
Pan-
But
Yeah,
and if one of those 4 quarterbacks are still available at 16 for the Commanders,
maybe.
they got to trade back to a team like the Vikings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Titans
no way they're
could
trading
want-
up for a pick though. I don't
Yeah.
think Ron Rivera has the ability to trade up because it's 50-50 whether or not he's
Yeah.
going to be here next
I
year.
mean-
and we traded back last year too, and that actually worked out
Worked out
pretty
really
well. If you,
honestly, if you look at the breakdown of that trade, it was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, the
So
Saints
we're
got
trying to
Olave, who's been good,
I know.
but I feel like Dotson
We still
isn't.
Dotson,
if
Sam
much
Howell,
worse at all.
Cole Turner, and
Yeah.
we got another really solid player.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got one
we-
at the same
You got a bunch of day 2, day 3 picks
Yeah.
that have really helped us down the.
We drafted Sam Howell.
Now look, though. If the Commanders are sitting there at 16, and Anthony Richardson is there,
Oh my
I wanted to
God,
take him.
I would take him. Yeah,
That's
It's-
easy.
That's
You
not
don't even
gonna
have to
happen.
move. Like,
yeah.
It's not even.
No, I don't think he is. I
No,
think
he's
he's going to be.
He's
gone.
not going to be there.
I don't
So-
think
teams
any
gonna
of the
go to
4
it.
guys are going
I
to.
think he's going fourth to the Colts.
I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised.
Unless
Who
something-
drafts third?
Cardinals.
The Cardinals could trade back.
Cardinals won't.
Cardinals.
If I'm the Cardinals,
I
I'm
could see
taking
the
Will
Cardinals.
If
Anderson or
If Will
Tyree Wilson or whoever.
No, if the
defensive
Cardinals
guys
take a
are.
quarterback, that would be.
The
They need
Cardinals-
defense.
I don't
The
think they're
Cardinals
going
are
to
not
take quarterback.
taking- If Will
I think they
Anderson-
got to take defense.
I think the Cardinals trade back.
If Will Anderson
I
gets
don't think
taken
you
by the
trade back with
Texans,
Will Anderson and the Texas Tech guy.
Yeah.
That's true because
All
I feel like,
I do think the first 2 picks are going to be quarterback.
Yeah.
And then from there,
I think the Cardinals need to take a D end. Though.
Yeah.
I don't. For sure. At 3, I don't
So
know
you
if
got
there's
Chase,
anyone good enough to
Jalen.
take.
if there was a good offensive tackle, like a generational one, it'd be perfect for the Cardinals. But
But
there's
is there?
there's
Yeah,
not.
They
in
gotta
this
take
draft.
defense.
Yeah, I think they need a defensive end, but I don't know
And
if
get
there's
that
going
one
to be a
Georgia
defensive
guy.
good enough for.
He's in trouble.
Jalen Carter. I mean,
Oh, that
he's,
He,
he's
I think
very
he's gonna.
good.
I think he's still
He's
going to go in
sliding.
the top 10.
He's fine.
I think a team like the
So,
Raiders
I
might
don't
go
know.
for him.
No way the Raiders do
You got
that.
trouble
for sure.
with like
That'd be insane.
I think in like in some of the
Yeah,
class.
after-
He yeah.
Yeah, that,
He was
that's
like
what kind of split
racing,
his
and then
draft.
the other
Sounds like
car he was
track.
racing.
All right, guys. So we mentioned the Commanders a little bit earlier. They're sitting at 16. That's right in the middle of the draft. They traded back last year. Do you think that trend continues, Jack? Trading back?
No, I think we'll stay in our spot. I think there's guys who are definitely going to be there who can be immediate impact starters for us at 16. I mean, whether it's a corner or offensive line or
Even a linebacker.
go in a linebacker or say you want to
Tight end.
help Sam Howell some more, give him a tight end. Give
Yeah,
him,
Big O.
if somehow Bijan Robinson's there, then take him. I mean, do whatever. But like,
You
there's gonna be
raised,
a lot of options.
I think
there.
it's gonna be pretty close to best player available for Washington.
I think they should go best player available. But if one of those corners is there, if the guy from
Yeah.
Oregon or Maryland is there,
Definitely grab him.
I
Or
don't see the
really
value.
solid offensive
I don't see the value taking a corner, honestly.
I
I
think-
think that was a glaring issue in our team. Like last year, I was like, "Oh, we can't cover. That's why we were bad." Like I thought
There
it
were
was
definitely
more-
games
I mean,
where I was
Kendall
like
Fuller-
the secondary
it was
was
linebackers
I
too.
thought it was more,
But a lot of it
our
was
linebackers.
Yeah.
I mean, Kendall Fuller's getting older on his last year of his contract.
If you just look at our corners, though, there's
2 weeks.
there's just nothing.
We got Cameron Dantzler from Minnesota. He can be a corner 2, corner 3 at max.
No.
It's not the same thing.
I think.
I
I think you go for the Oregon guy if he's still there.
If he's still there, but
Yeah.
he's not. Gonna
I don't
be.
think he
he's
will.
going top 10.
But then, if you're not sure, why not just trade back and get day 2 picks
I would
next year or
honestly,
this
the
year?
person that I would. I mean, we kind of have good safeties, I guess, but like Brian Branch is so good.
Now, could he?
He's
move
good
to
in our
corner?
system. He can
Yeah,
play
he's
little
so good
nickel,
for us.
can play safety, he can
Yeah.
play corner.
We
He's
need,
like
He's fast.
better Derek Force.
we need the who's the guy that was playing safety and linebacker for us?
Oh, Lightning Collins.
Collins.
Yeah, we need someone like that again.
Yeah.
No, but
The-
he's
I mean,
better.
The
He's way better
safety,
than
no,
Lightning
someone better, but like the safety linebacker like switch was honestly like really clean. I feel like it was working pretty well, but I don't know.
Collins.
I
Or
think there's
an
anyone that's
offensive
drafted that's
lineman.
gonna do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we-
think-
Offensive.
I
line's
think
the
they
big-
go
That's-
just spam offensive line in like day 2 because
I think offensive line is never a bad idea.
yeah, of course not, and especially with basically what you have in a rookie quarterback, you have to protect him. I mean, you saw what's happened to so many teams. The Cardinals never drafting offensive linemen, and boom, there goes your quarterback.
Or, bro, if we get Big O, I would be so happy.
Now in the second round, though, I would not
Yeah,
take him in the
second.
first round.
If we get him in the second,
In the
if you
second,
trade back and get a high second and take him, because
Yeah.
Logan Thomas is so bad.
I know. I think they gotta go
He's
tight end.
he's-
Well, he had
Tight
one
end.
good
He's
season.
too
everyone's
old
like,
and
guys are
injury-prone.
solid,
He's a
guys are
quarterback.
solid. He's not
And-
good, though.
Now, if you just look at recency though, I'm just bringing this up just because it sparks an interesting conversation. The highest ranked tight ends have really not been what they've been projected to be.
No, Kyle
T.J.
Pitts.
Hawkinson when he was drafted in the top 10. Kyle Pitts.
I think Cubs.
I think he can be good.
I think
to
he
be fair,
still
he
can
hasn't
be
really had
good.
This is a high quarterback.
I mean,
and he's the only receiver on that team.
yeah.
He's not even a receiver, but like he's the only person.
I think if
can catch the ball.
whoever gets Darnell Washington in the second, it'll be a steal.
Yeah.
Let's shift to another skill position. Bijan Robinson, who's projected by most to be the only running back with a first-round grade. The Eagles, who have been sitting at, I believe it's the 10th pick, if they get him,
That's like the be
it's
Dynamic offense.
It's gonna be bad.
But do you see maybe like the Falcons or somebody who could maybe get him?
I think Atlanta's shown interest in him. I think he would succeed there, but also, as you've heard from years past, running backs aren't the most valuable position.
Yeah,
The
they're
Falcons
not.
have a lot of needs, especially on defense.
Yeah.
And
I think
Falcons
the
have a
only
lot of
team
needs.
in the first round who should be even thinking about selecting Bijan is the Eagles. Because if the Eagles, their only real holes on offense is running back. They let Miles
It
Sanders
wasn't
walk.
even though Miles
And it
Miles Sanders was good.
Yeah,
last
I know,
season.
but he's not on the
But
team.
he's-
Yeah. And just the upside, if you add that talent to that offense, I mean, especially in the weak NFC.
If Miles Sanders can have the season he had last year, Bijan Robinson can do it too. Like
I mean,
yeah, that's
they have
true.
a great O line. Just
Yeah.
run behind
Yeah,
those
terrific O-line.
all pros.
And you've got the wide receivers. Like the focus would not be solely on Bijan, but if the Eagles
also
and
Jalen Hurts.
if the Eagles and the Falcons aren't interested, like how far back does he slide?
I think you go to
if he
Tampa.
doesn't get taken by the Eagles, I don't even think he gets a pick.
I think he goes to
I
Tampa
just don't know who's
I don't know
who's
why
gonna
the
be
Bucks
taken.
would take him.
because they don't have a capable running back on their team.
They don't have.
They don't have a capable anything on their team. to be
And this
honest.
year they have Kyle Trask as their quarterback right now.
Baker Mayfield
Oh,
too.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they're both of them, but still, that's
Do they still have
mid.
Goodwin and
Yeah,
Like-
they do.
Running back led
Like
teams.
Evans?
Has there ever been like a really super good running back led team?
Not one that won a Super Bowl.
Like
I
the
mean,
Titans have
Titans
made
have
some
always-
runs.
Yeah.
Titans have always
But
been
they-
pretty solid. But,
yeah.
but
Even
Derrick Henry's
their
so
defense
good.
was so good when they were like really good.
Yeah. The goal of the team is to win Super Bowls, and I think when you just look at recent trends,
I don't.
there's a graph that shows each Super Bowl winner, the leading rusher of the game, and their salary. And I think every single one in the last 10 years is
Yeah,
making
it's
below
always
$3
I mean,
million.
look at the Chiefs. Like they have
Who are the
7th
Chiefs
round
running
pick
backs?
Isaiah Pacheco
Yeah, and Jared McKinnon.
Check out a
Because
good.
they pass to the running backs a lot. I mean,
Exactly.
Does
I
that-
mean, that's all you need. Like, if the Chiefs were to get a guy like Derrick Henry, like has
Like,
been
it
mentioned,
doesn't matter.
or Bijan
that
Robinson,
would be such a
like,
waste. They wouldn't
it's
even-
it just wouldn't fit. They're better off drafting a receiver or somebody else that would help them. So that's something when you look at like who in the first round is looking to really add that running back, and I don't really know.
other
to
than
be
the
honest.
Eagles. I don't know.
And again, the Eagles have 2 first-round picks. They have 10 and 30.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
they,
if I'm
they,
the Eagles, I'm
If I'm
they,
the
they,
Eagles-
knew, they knew a lot of
you
trading back
If I'm
there.
the Eagles, I'm just trading back because
honestly.
I mean, if they want to get one of those corners or something, I mean, sure, go ahead. But I think that 10th round pick is a lot more valuable, and some team is going to want to.
The thing
Oh,
is,
yeah.
they need a running back, but you can get a running back
I mean,
in the second or third.
They
Yeah,
could go
exactly.
with the receiver. I mean, if they go
That's
like
crazy.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devontae Smith and Brown, that's a crazy
I just
trio.
don't even-
Yeah,
know
but that's so
imagine
that's just so overkill.
just,
Like, you
it's
don't
just
need
better to get a corner.
Yeah, you don't need to use the 10 overall.
And
pick for that.
I thought their defense last year was pretty overrated because they had a pretty weak schedule and their offense was really good. So I think they definitely need some defensive upgrades, and they're pretty old
They lost
on
a few
the
pieces
on the
too.
D line.
Yeah, the Chiefs did
So-
kind of like stomp them. I'm
Yeah,
not
I think it's
stomp 'em.
the
It didn't
Eagles-
look that bad because they could score on offense.
The thing
but,
about the
I don't-
Eagles,
did the
though-
Chiefs not score like
In the
once?
second half, they scored every drive.
Yeah,
The thing about the Eagles is that with the new Jalen Hurts contract, I don't think the Eagles are going to be rebuilding. I think they're going to be retooling.
Yeah.
So in the next couple of years, yeah, sure, there's some guys are going to be getting older. So when you think about it, this draft is important
Yeah.
because you got to get these young guys in and start the turnover because
that's
Jalen
why
Hurts
I would
is
stock
there.
up on picks though. I would trade.
That's another thing.
I would
If you
trade
trade
10
back,
and stock up
you
on
just
picks.
get more players.
But I
to-
also think like you could they could make a case for Bijan because that's a guy that's going to make an immediate impact.
Yeah.
Like
That-
he's not like sometimes corners, their technique's not that good or
Yeah.
they're not fast enough or strong enough yet. But a guy like that he's already kind of ready.
yeah, that's a
So-
good point too. Like if you're with those Super Bowl teams, you got to get that guy
Yeah.
who's an immediate impact.
Right.
I mean, just look at Sauce Gardner. I mean, he came in, it was just absolutely
Yeah.
terrific.
I mean, when you look at it, there's no offensive player in the draft that I think is going to be more immediate impact than Bijan.
Yeah.
Like these quarterbacks, none of these guys are going to be immediate impacts.
They're 2-year.
There's no Joe Burrow in this class who's going to start right away.
There's a lot.
I think the next quarterback coming into the draft that can actually have an immediate impact is Caleb Williams.
He's phenomenal.
I don't think anyone else is.
I don't think anybody in this draft is going to have it. Now that doesn't mean they'll be bad. It's just I think they gotta wait. They gotta learn the game.
Even the last few years, other than Joe Burrow, those actually have like an immediate impact.
Justin Herbert,
I
but
mean, Trevor Lawrence is in what, year
Trevor
2
Lawrence
now?
is
Yeah, he's getting his way, but
he's getting his way. But year one, he was not very, and that's okay.
Mahomes sat.
You do not have to be good your first year.
Allen sucked his first year.
All
Everyone
those
was like
guys.
Everyone was like Josh Allen's a bum. Like after his first year.
I mean, look at kind of like Lamar Jackson. Like the first year he's starting, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, but keep that in mind. First
That's
year
different.
starting, not rookie year. He was sitting behind Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And even Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith. Like
Lamar's also just a different type of quarterback. Knowing you how to like
Stop him.
stop him.
That's
in
true.
his first year.
And even actually, you know what? I know who made an immediate impact. Even though they didn't win games, he drastically affected his team. Was Justin Fields. Even though they didn't win, I think
I just don't.
He'll be good.
That's all right.
I just don't think he's that good of a quarterback right now. I didn't really think about that, but but I understand.
yeah, I know they didn't win. I know they were still the worst team. Okay, immediate impact could be very subjective, but when he started playing, I think the Bears became more competitive. So
They definitely got
the Bears have something there in Justin Fields. I believe that they do.
Yeah.
Now they got DJ Moore with him too. I mean, that's you got
that
some
helps. I
receivers
mean,
now.
that's the key. You
How
got to
good is
have
DJ
that
Moore,
receiver.
though? I don't even know. 'Cause,
What
the
pick
Bears
do they
have
now?
3. Who?
They don't have 3.
Not 3.
Cardinals.
Oh, they have 3. Do they have like 6?
they traded.
I think 6 or 9.
They
Might
had
be
the number.
9.
They have
one.
9.
9.
They moved all the way back to 9, which is a while from 1 to 9.
The
but-
Panthers were at 9. I guess they
Yeah.
did win some big.
Give
So
them
what if
3
the
firsts.
Bears?
Yeah.
I mean, they could reach, but what if they just trade back and get one of those receivers? I mean,
Defense?
Again, you
Or
could.
defense
but
or offensive?
Yeah.
I think
or
offensive line.
O
Their
line.
defense
Yeah.
was the worst in the
They-
last year.
You see a lot of these running quarterbacks get injured.
Yeah,
but,
it's
So I think
important.
you just need to protect them as much as you can so they can survive and be your franchise guy for as long as possible.
Yeah, with DJ Moore, I don't think they need to draft the receiver. A wide receiver one's like
With him and Mooney, I
Because
mean,
this year they're still
and,
really bad.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool.
Yeah, you just gotta look for improvement though. If the Bears win 7 games, I think that's an improvement.
Yeah.
7 games for the Bears would be like wins.
Yeah, and another.
They're also playing a very weak division.
Yeah, and the whole NFC with Aaron Rodgers moving over. I mean,
kind of wide open.
So bad.
after Jalen Hurts,
After the Eagles, it's
after the Eagles
in the Niners.
is the next best quarterback. It's between Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and Dak Prescott.
Yeah, it's rough.
Like
No,
Yeah.
that's
that-
actually crazy. To think
that's
about.
what gives the
Trey
NFC.
Lance.
All these teams.
Geno Smith?
Yeah, all these teams in the NFC. Like I think their ceiling is just so much higher because they have a chance. They just have that chance.
Well, just because the whole
conference is bad, but that's. I mean, it's wide open after the Eagles. I mean,
After the Eagles and the 49ers, I think. That's what we kind of saw last year with like the Vikings. Like
Yeah,
the team
like-
was not good.
yeah,
Vikings
but they
were
just
so-
got hot. I think we're gonna see another team like
You said the
Wizards.
Lions
They
type
got
of team
hot
could be this year.
Lions.
They didn't get hot. They just
They just like
beat bad teams
yeah.
and got a
they
good
just
What
beat the
if,
teams.
What about the Lions trading up to go get a quarterback this year?
That'd be,
It's behind Goff for a year,
That
like
would-
Anthony Richardson
I don't
type of
think-
player.
I don't think
Maybe.
that'd be smart.
Yeah.
That would be. I feel like you'd have to give up too much to go and get one of those top ones.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this NFL draft version of the Seahawk Squawk. The draft kicks off on Thursday evening from Kansas City. We'll see you all next time on the Seahawk Squawk.